Wow. No words, honestly, but if I did have to say some, it's that I really do think that it's time that we, as an MMA community, really give Ian Garry a thorough, thought-out written apology. Because stepping in on 25 days short notice to take on a fresh, hungry, on a kill streak prospect in Carlos Prates, when it doesn't necessarily benefit him in the slightest as the number 7th ranked welterweight contender in the world, speaks insane amounts of volumes of the size of the caones of Ian Machado Garry. And I think that this stud deserves all the kudos in the world. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 2,000 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, let's get real quick. I think without a shadow of a doubt, it's about time that Ian Machado Garry stopped catching all of this heat from the MMA community. And I'm talking about in every aspect. And look, don't get it twisted. I was one of the same ones calling this cat a Conor McGregor fanboy wannabe, and also questioned his toughness, willingness, as well as his heart. But after stepping up on short notice when all seemed lost and the company needed him the most, he was the only one in the queue to raise his hand and step up to the plate to take on the hungry, surging prospect in Carlos Prates. And I think it's about time for everyone who doubted him to eat their words, because this dude is the ultimate company man, and it's about damn time that we give him his flowers. I mean, look, I get it. Ian Garry has been rubbing people the wrong way for a fat minute now with, a lot of his out of the cage antics. Like, I'm talking about the Neil Magny drama, the words he had for Vicente Luque, and how can we not forget about the whole situation with his wife and nutritionist? Yeah, my boy Gary's into some weird shit, but let's not act like this dude isn't a straight up killer with that anyone, anytime, anywhere mentality. I mean, y'all remember his fight against Shitrat, right? Yeah, Shitrat. Shavkat Rakhmonov, the undisputed boogeyman of the welterweight division and the man that no elite 170 pounder wanted to take on. Like, dog, Shavkat was out here finishing everybody, whether it was in the grappling or whether it was in the striking. You name it, Shitrat was gonna finish you. Pause. But Ian Garry, on the other hand, my dog not only took this fight on 21 days short notice, but took the at the time 18-0 finishing Marauder to a decision. But not only that, almost choked his ass out on worldwide television. Yikes. And look, yeah, it wasn't the most exciting fight in the world, but let's be 100 right now. Apart from me, absolutely nobody really thought that Ian Garry stood a chance against Shitrat for some reason. I thought from the moment that fight week started that this fight was going to be a lot closer than what y'all expected, and Garry was finna show us something that he never did before. And what did he do? Absolutely that. And stood his ground against one of the division's most dangerous threats and proved that he belonged among the best of the best within the welterweight's elite. Now fast forward to today, and Ian Garry is now stepping in on short notice to fight the Fighting Nerds' own Carlos Prates, the Brazilian chain smoker that's been knocking guys out left and right. Yeah, that Carlos Prates. And you see, when you look at it, Prates is quite literally the total opposite of Ian Garry. I mean, he drinks alk during camp, rips cigs, and parties hella. Like, how is this cat a professional fighter, let alone one of the best fighters in the world? And you see, here's the thing, because inside of the cage, this pothead is a straight up problem. And guess what? Ian Garry just real life couldn't give a shit. And when he saw that phone call from Hunter and Sean Shelby, he accepted it with a quickness. But when you really think about it, he could have easily played it off safe. Maybe waited for a more favorable matchup in order to keep his hype all the way intact. Instead, he's putting it all on the line and risking everything against one of, if not the most dangerous contenders currently in the division. And, to me, that's kind of the mentality that separates the good from the greats. But peep game real quick, because this ain't even the first time that Ian Garry took on a super tough matchup like this. I mean, let's take it back to when he fought off against Michael Venom Page, who is one of, if not the best strikers currently in the division and probably in the UFC. I mean, people everywhere, including myself, said that MVP was, the only guy in the division who might be able to outstrike Ian Garry. But, all of that didn't matter because Ian Garry went out there, did what he had to do, and won the fight. Then, 10 months later, he fought the division's boogeyman on short notice in Shit Rat and made a bona fide statement. Now he's fighting another scary behemoth in Carlos Prates. Yeah, it's clear Ian Garry, to me, has far redeemed himself as far as public opinions go. Even though, he does like, to sit in the corner and watch or whatever, you feel me? But for my early pre-fight breakdown, I think this fight with Carlos Prates is gonna be a razor close one, for sure. I think if Prates can grapple, then Garry will undoubtedly outwork his ass to a decision, like super easily. I mean, we've already seen Ian Garry hold his own against Shit Rat and even dominate MVP in the grappling exchanges, so I don't think it's necessarily too far-fetched to believe that the cat with little to no grappling showings will be able to compete as well as contest with a BJJ practitioner who trains with both Charles Oliveira, Charles do Bronx, as well as Damian Maia simultaneously. On the contrary though, I do believe if Carlos Prates lands that big shot, things can get ugly really fast. Either way though, this is a massive fight, and Ian Garry stepping up on short notice just proves that he's built different. But at the same time though, let's also look at the bigger picture. Because if Ian Garry wins this fight against Carlos Prates, he's putting himself in a position where a title shot could be within reach. I mean, the division's insanely stacked, and with two back-to-back superstellar performances against killers, then there's just no way the UFC can ignore Ian Garry at that point. And if he loses, he still gets credit for being the guy who takes on all comers, which keeps his stock high regardless. But at the end of the day, I think it's safe to say that there's no more questioning Garry's mentality. No more calling him soft and no more calling him a soy boy. Ian Garry has proven that he's as real as they come. And whether you like him or not, you've got to respect what he's doing right now. And unlike some guys, Marty, he fights the best guys whenever and wherever. And you've got to give him his kudos for that at the end of the day. And so, yeah, on behalf of the MMA community, as well as myself, Ian Machado Garry, we owe you one, man, and apologies for doubting you. You've got a heart of a warrior, and it's insanely clear to see now. So keep doing what you're doing, and, block me off of Twitter, why don't you? But that's all I've got to say for this video. Let me know in the comment section below. What are your guys' thoughts on, this new matchup between Ian Garry and Carlos Prates? Who do you guys have winning? Ian Machado Garry or Carlos Prates? Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.